Hey everybody, Merry Christmas. Thank you for all the questions that you left and for being patient to announce the winners. Lily she's one of those, if she doesn't feel like doing it, So I just had to keep asking her every so often, not trying to bother her, to see if she will want to do the vlog. It was her idea to begin with. So anyway, she did, as you can see. She finally got up there and said what she wanted to say.
Hi everybody, Merry Christmas. My name is Lily and I'm 11 years old. I'm going to announce the winners now. The winners are Lisa from Connecticut, Judy Mills, and Lisa 2596.
So I'm very happy about that. So now I'm going to answer some of the questions that I didn't get to last time because I felt I probably needed a little bit more attention than just a little bit talk. One is, are you Jewish? And being Jewish is two different meanings here in Israel. One is Jewish is by blood. Like, for instance, it's passed on by the woman. So because I am not Jewish, I'm Christian, my kids aren't Jewish, even though their father is. It's very weird in that regard. And no, I didn't convert. The only real difference is that they don't believe in Jesus, but they believe the same God. They basically have the same Bible, and neither of us are like super religious, so we both believe in God, and we've never gotten in an argument or anything like that about religion. We still celebrate all the Israeli Jewish holidays, and I bring in the ones that were important to me, like Christmas and Halloween. Always my two favorites. I always bring those every year for my kids. So, but they do have something kind of like, I think Lily talked a little bit about Purim. Do you crochet?
I try to sometimes. Sometimes I practice, but usually I don't.
Do you like being a model for mommy? Or on my crochet stuff?
I don't mind it.
Okay. What's your most favorite thing that I've made for you?
My favorite thing is the hat.
The hat that I have? Here.
The hat.
That hat. Lower.
Oh, the hat.
Nice. Okay. What's your favorite holiday?
In Israel?
Mm-hmm. It could be Israeli or American. Just what's your favorite holiday to celebrate?
I have two.
Okay.
I like Purim and Christmas. Purim is a holiday where you dress up in a costume and you just walk around in it.
Is the Jewish equivalent of Halloween, though it's for completely different reasons. They just so happen to have a holiday where they switch their looks. And if you want to know why they do that, that's the story. I don't know it well enough, and I don't want to get into a long story there. But so by blood or religion, I'm not Jewish. But by blood, I am an Indian. Like a lot of people in Oklahoma, we have a little bit of Indian in us, and I'm no different. And I have the medical card, which I believe is this one. Never had to use, no, actually, so this one, Cherokee Nation of Oklahoma, has my name and address and stuff. This one is the United States Department of the Interior Bureau of Indian Affairs, Eastern Oklahoma Regional OFC, office, I guess. Certificate of Degree of Indian Blood. Says I'm 13th out of 128th degree Indian blood of the Cherokee tribe, the Cherokee Nation of Oklahoma. So I'm Cherokee, And I did the math. I figured out what is 13th of 128 degree. And I found out it's like 16.4% of your blood is Indian. So only about 17% is Indian blood. The rest is, I have no idea. My mom has told me, she's strung out. She gave me a long list a long time ago. Like, I think she said Black Dutch. I think she said German, French. And I know on my dad's side, there's a lot of French on the, oh, my kettle's going off. 1 second, let me get some coffee. Ow! I just hurt my elbow. Oh. But I got my coffee. It's too hot to drink, but I got it. Oh, shoot. Again, I forgot my microphone. Can you hear me? Hello? Okay. So anyway, the reason why I don't know a lot about my dad's past is because when he was young, his mom abandoned him at his, I believe it was his aunt's house, and him and his sister to the aunt's house. And the way I understood, the aunt was not a very nice person at all. And I found out at one point the mother did try to come back to get them. But the aunt wouldn't. I mean, obviously she abandoned her kids. She'd probably do it again. I guess it was her thinking, but she wouldn't give them back. So my dad and his sister stayed with her. And then his sister died when on her 12th birthday. She had tonsillitis, and they didn't know why she had died. And then sometime after, they like moved her mattress, or it was behind the couch. I think it was behind the couch. The couch was against the wall. When they had finally moved the couch, they saw these little pills behind the couch that she had not been taking her medicine. So, and that was the only family that he had other than his aunt, who seemed to be a nightmare, in my understanding. But he didn't really know he didn't really know his family, and I never got to visit any of his family when I was a kid. I was only from my mom's side, and so I had one grandma and blah, blah, blah. And then I always thought, well, when I get older, I want to make sure my kids have both sides, because this sucks. And then it turns out that I moved to Israel, and they don't know any of my family. And besides, both my parents are already dead. They both died from cancer within a year of one another. This happened before I came here to Israel. So, one question that wasn't asked, but I wanted to talk about, is that when I lived in Oklahoma City, I lived pretty close to downtown, maybe about 15 minutes, 12 minutes drive away. And it was, at the time, the person I was with was in the medical field, and he worked the night shift. So, and I decided I would stay up at night while he was at work, and then we would go to bed together in the morning. So I stayed up all night, and I slept during the day too. This house that we lived in at the time was his parents. His parents had lived there. He lived there with his parents before I met him. And when we started dating, his parents had already moved out of the house, and he was staying in there trying to fix up the house to get it ready to be sold. So he had like 3 months or so to live in this place rent-free, and then if he couldn't sell it, he would have to pay the rent, because his parents had already moved on. So we were there working in the house and trying to paint it and get it all fixed up. So we didn't really have a lot of furniture, and we slept on a mattress downstairs in the den. Anyway, so we were sleeping downstairs on a mattress on the floor, and it had the glass sliding doors was essentially our headboard. So we were really close to the windows. And in Oklahoma, the wind is crazy, and sometimes you can hear a gust of wind that'll hit a window, and it will be like, whoa, but it's usually one window. And at the time that the Alfred P. Murrah building was bombed, me and him we just got into bed, we were talking, and we were in the middle of a conversation when the only way that I can describe it, it sounded like a gust of wind hit all the windows in the house at once. And he described it as though he thought a bird had hit the window. Either way, when we heard it, it shut us up immediately, and we were sitting there quiet. And when the sound stopped, we kind of just went, what the hell was that? It was weird, but we didn't give it a lot of thought. We ended up going to sleep. And during that sleep time, the phone kept ringing, you know, every so often, which was annoying. But closer to the time we needed to get up, the phone rang again, and he got up to answer it and found out what had happened. And I turned on the news, and this is when we found out what that sound was. And since he was in the medical field, he left to go to work at that time. And he told me some stories about some of the stuff that he saw, and I'm not going to go into detail on that on the channel for sure. But it was not good, and the hospitals were completely full, and they were having firemen from other places to come help, and it was just a really, really, really bad time for everyone. They have a memorial. I've never gone there, but I've seen it lots on TV. They have a reflecting pool, and on either side of it, they have these arcs. One is 901, like before the bomb, and then the other one is 902. And in between, there's a lot of chairs that stand with the people's names on it, stand as a memorial. And also there's a fence that is on the outside that people put a lot of decorations and not decorations, but you know, memorial pieces of whatever. Sometimes they don't even know the people, but just want to put something there to show they care. So that's really awesome. Okay. So please say it's cool. Oh man, coffee. I never used to drink coffee before I came out here to Israel. Very, very rarely. But since coming out here, it's like they have what's called Shabbat dinner, which means usually the whole family will come and gather on Friday and have one big meal. And at the end of the meal, they always have like black coffee. Not always. They have instant too, which is what this is, instant coffee. But they also have what's called black coffee, which in the South, I've never heard of this. Though I know that they have it in the U.S. and people drink it and everything. Just, I never did. My parents only drank this instant coffee stuff. Anyway, on Shabbat dinner, at the end of the dinner, they would always have coffee. They'd offer coffee or tea. And I would always say no, because I really didn't drink either. And I would always get this, you know, at first it was fine. But, you know, I'm with these people for several years. And after a few months of saying no, I think they started giving it to me anyway. Hell, I don't even remember, or I just gave in. I said, fine, give it to me if it means that much to you. And so this is it, peer pressure with the coffee. But now I drink black coffee, I drink instant coffee, I drink tea. I even have my own nana plants. This is what they call it, nana, mint. And my own mint plants out here that I grow my own tea. So I want to get back to the questions, and another one was how would the schools here differ from the United States? And it's a lot of difference. I'm still learning. My daughter is only in the 6th grade, and in Israel where we live, the schools go from 1 to 6 is elementary, then I believe 7 to 9 is middle school, and then 10 to 12 is high school. But don't quote me on that, because like I said, my daughter isn't there yet. I'm just going off memory of what they told me. And everybody carries backpacks, even up to high school. I asked him why, you know, put it in your locker. He said most of the schools don't have lockers. I mean, very few have lockers, is what he said. Most people carry their bags and supplies on their back. And my daughter, when she has a lot of homework, man, her back can get so heavy, I don't know how she can even carry it. I'm forever telling her, if you don't have that subject that day, please put your books down and just take what you need. It's crazy. She has a drawer in her class. Every kid has their own drawer, and then you put some books in there, but it's small and you cannot fit all your books in there, so that's why you have to have a backpack. Also, a thing about the schools is starting from 1st grade to 6th grade, my daughter has been with the same kids. The teachers change, and every 2 years they have a new teacher. So for 1st and 2nd grade, she had the same teacher, and 3rd and 4th, she had the same, and then 5th and 6th now she's had the same. They change classes every year, like the actual class. She's changed every year, except for the last year. They're in the same class as they were last year. She's very not happy about that. So it feels like the same grade, because it's the same kids, it's the same classroom, it's the same teacher for 2 years now. Anyway, some of the kids, like they may lose 1 or 2 kids, they move away or whatever, and then they'll get 1 or 2 kids to replace the kids that left. So, but other than that, it's the same core group of kids through 1 through 6th grade, which I think is awesome in some cases, though I've heard some really bad experiences, like if you don't get along with the kids in your class, now you're stuck with them for year after year, that can be really bad. So sometimes it's good, but there's bonuses and minuses, pluses and minuses to everything, I suppose. Also, something I learned is the older kids don't have substitutes. In high school, I heard that they go from class to class, and if the class doesn't have the teacher show up that day, they can just leave and come back if they have another class later on. Or if it's the last class of the day, they just leave early, you know. They're there for a couple of hours of school that day, and then they're gone. Another thing is none of the schools in Israel have cafeterias. None of them that I have ever heard had a cafeteria. So they always have to bring your lunch. And it's usually a sandwich, something like that, something simple. Because my daughter, she wanted to bring schnitzels to school, and there's like, people were looking at me funny. She'd put schnitzel in a pita and take it. So she's still eating bread, but the fact that it was chicken, everybody would just look at her like, I want that. So she stopped. So she'd take a sandwich with, lunch meat or something, or hummus, or, pickles, something she would take sometimes. We didn't have hummus growing up where I come from, so this is new. What else did I want to talk about? Well, actually, I can't think of anything else that you wanted to know. I think I covered everything. The birds are so loud. Those are green parakeets outside. I don't know if you can hear them. I actually have some pictures that I took right outside my window here in this apartment. I'll show you some of them. I think they count really good. I tried to turn them into Shutterstock to see if they would use them, but no. So I think it's pretty hard to get pictures for Shutterstock for take, because I think these pictures are awesome. Anyway, so I want to say thank you so much for watching and for leaving your questions. And I would love to know what you guys plan on doing for New Year's. Me and my family will get sausage and cheese, and then other kind of finger foods, I think this year, because I found ranch, which is pretty awesome. It's light ranch, but it's ranch from the U.S., and I love to dip vegetables in that. So I'm going to have that and cut up vegetables and a thing of sausage log thing, smoked sausage. We always have smoked sausage and then a couple different kinds of cheeses. So we do that, and we also have some kind of wine or something for us, and grape juice for the kids. And I get a movie that I save just for that night that I know that all of us will enjoy watching. But I'd love to hear what kind of tradition that you have, because I don't know where this comes from. This is something that my dad did, and I loved it. He always had the sausage and crackers. He didn't do it up like with the movie and everything that I make it into, but it's something I always liked because it brought us together as a family to eat something that we never usually eat, and it's pretty cool. So what tradition, do you guys do the same thing, sausage and cheese? And if you do, why do you do it? Do you know why people do it? If not, what other kind of New Year's tradition that you do with your family and your kids? I would love to hear that. So that's it, guys. Thank you so much. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year's.